I'll just introduce myself. I am Anant Aditya Ayama. I work as an associate counselor with CII Sorabji Godrej Green Business Center for the GreenPro initiative. So, I'll just give you an overview on the importance of green construction blocks in the modern day green buildings and intelligent buildings which are coming up. And also, I'll be taking you through a glimpse of GreenPro initiative and how GreenPro identifies a construction block as a green product. Our focus will be on AAC blocks, which is the autoclaved aerated concrete blocks. They have been recognized as a green product by everyone in the industry, globally, nationally, everywhere. The green building movement, as you may already know, it was initiated in 2001 by IGBC, and the movement started with a mere green building footprint of 20,000 square feet, and it has now reached reached to a figure of 5.3 billion square feet, which is a second largest green building footprint by anybody, any country in the world. So it's a very proud moment that India is now the second largest, is having the second largest green building footprint in the world. And the target of Indian Green Building Council is to reach a target of 10 billion square feet of green buildings by the year 2022. So it is very important for the industry to realize that, and even the stakeholders and the end users to realize that the demand for credible green building products is on an incremental trend, and this demand is only going to rise with time. Based on an estimate, looking at the futuristic trends by 2022, it is expected that the market potential of the green building materials and products, including the technologies which will go into the green buildings, it is to the tune of 18 lakh crores. And we have a very outlined, detailed calculations for this. So in 2001, the trend was that many green building products and materials were majorly imported. And by 2018, many of these products are available in the country, and they have been identified also. So that's a huge plus for the developers, for the facility managers, the procurement managers, architects, and green building consultants. So it is now the responsibility of each and every stakeholder of this green building movement to make an informed decision with respect to selection of credible green products. Now I'll come to the topic of discussion, which is green construction block. And here I would just take you through the glimpse of autoclaved aerated concrete blocks, and they have been, it has been well established in the industry that AAC blocks, they are an excellent green product for green buildings. Now, what really constitutes a AAC block? The major ingredients involve composed fly ash, cement, lime, alumina powder, and water. So the percentage of fly ash is significant in the AAC blocks. Yes, there is steam treatment, which is the autoclaving process, and autoclaving process imparts these blocks very special characteristics. So the characteristics of the AAC blocks, they offer lower U value. The overall heat transfer coefficient of the block is quite low, which is plus for the Indian tropical climate, and this allows for reduction in the indoor temperature. So if there is more heat outside, savings because of reduced cooling load, and this results in tremendous amount of energy savings. So we're going to further look at all of these parameters of AAC blocks, but it is very important for us to relate these characteristics of AAC blocks with the overall impact that these blocks have for a green building, for the performance of the building. Now, these are typical requirements and typical aspects of a green building. The place where AAC blocks really contribute is on the energy efficiency front and on the materials and resources front. Use of AAC blocks, it contributes to energy efficiency and reduced resource consumption. This will be clear to you in the subsequent slides, and in the subsequent presentations, things will be more clearer for each one of us. The typical green parameters of AAC blocks over and above the functional requirements of AAC blocks are listed out here. I'll begin with the density part. So if AAC blocks are compared with any other construction block which is available in the market, which is commercially available, then the lower density of these blocks, it offers reduced dead weight, which means that the amount of concrete and steel that goes into the building structures, that is reduced. So it really helps in reducing the resource consumption. The typical U values that we are dealing here with are in the range of 0.6 and 0.8 watts per meter square Kelvin. And whereas if this is compared with a conventional red clay brick, it is way too less as compared to the U value of a red clay brick, that is 2.6, and this leads to significant energy savings. If we talk about the recycled content, then fly ash constitutes to about 60 to 70% of the overall content by weight. So the industrial waste content, fly ash, which is generated by thermal power plants, this is being utilized in the block making process. Whereas in red clay brick, if we look at the major raw materials, then the amount or the percentage of recycled content is way too less. If we talk about the size accuracy, then AAC blocks are engineered blocks, and they are produced in a factory setup, and the dimensional accuracy and the dimensions that we are dealing with, the accuracy figures are again in the range of 1.5 mm, which ensures better finish and reduce usage of adhesives and the jointing mortars that are used to join these blocks together. So overall, if one looks at the raw materials used in the block making process, and if we look at the overall performance that it brings into the building operational system, then on each of these fronts, the AAC blocks stand out tall. We also did a dynamic thermal simulation study where GreenPro rated AAC blocks were used in a typical office space, and this particular scenario was compared with a scenario where conventional clay bricks were used. So in a dynamic thermal simulation tool, the overall energy consumption for the year was calculated. The net savings achieved were to the tune of 4.27%. And this was achieved as a result of reduced cooling load, reduced dynamic cooling load, and this led to enormous amount of energy savings for a single floor office space. Now, if these numbers are further implied on a typical high-rise building, then the percentage of savings, or the absolute kWh of savings, would be even greater. Now, let me come back to how GreenPro identifies a block as a green construction block. So CII in 2015 had launched the GreenPro initiative. GreenPro is green product certification, and is an eco label by CII in India. It assesses how green is a product based on a holistic product life cycle framework. So across different stages of product life cycle, the products are analyzed starting from product design stage to raw materials, product performance, manufacturing. So it's very important for the manufacturing process to be efficient, both in terms of energy, in terms of water, waste management practices, and GreenPro also covers the additional aspects related to manufacturer owing up the additional responsibility. So it talks about the innovation and product stewardship related initiatives. Only after the minimum requirements of the eco-labeling, eco-label of GreenPro is met, that's when the product gets the certification. GreenPro rating is also accredited by Global Eco-Labeling Network, for which we received the recognition last year. It also enables end users to identify high-performance AAC blocks or high-performance green construction blocks. Now I'll be closing my presentation by taking you through the benefits of using GreenPro rated AC blocks. So it definitely helps the end users and the developers to achieve higher level of green building certification, as it has additional credits associated with it. Also, for a GreenPro rated product, there is no due diligence required. So the time and effort that goes into due diligence related to selection of green products, that is saved. There is a third-party NABL accredited testing, which is part of every GreenPro rating. So the GreenPro product-specific rating that is available for construction blocks, it does address these requirements of third-party testing. Also, the toxic and carcinogenic free products are identified as part of GreenPro. Even for a AAC block, the testing related to radiation levels and radioactivity radiation levels are also part of the GreenPro rating. So it's not only the product performance and raw materials, but at the same time, GreenPro ensures that the health and well-being of the occupants of a building, that is also encouraged. Now, these are some of the manufacturers of green construction blocks who have adopted GreenPro. All 7 of them, they manufacture high quality AAC block products. And with the exception of Godrej, they also have a recycled concrete block along with Autoclaved aerated concrete block that has adopted GreenPro certification. We are also working with IFC jointly towards scaling up AAC blocks in India. So in the subsequent presentation, there's a presentation to be made by the IFC representative, Ms. Shruti, on the next steps and on the progress made so far in this direction. So with this, I'll now be making